Hi, I'm Carla. So we know that chatbots usually help you and they give you good advice, but what if we made a chatbot that only gives you bad advice? In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make a chatbot using Python and natural language processing to create a silly, bad advice chatbot. Before we start, this is the perfect time to like and subscribe. And let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is create two files, badrobot.python and badadvice.txt. So we're going to need to install the natural language toolkit, sklearn, and a couple of other libraries. I've already installed them, so I'm not going to do it again. Let's import all the libraries we're going to need. I might be typing a little fast, but all of the code will be in a GitHub repository linked in the description. So we're importing sklearn, warning, string, random, IO, essentially everything we need for an NLP project. So we're also going to be importing lemmatizers. A lemmatizer is what groups words together to get a meaning. And on the first time you run this, you need to do the NLTK download of those two packages. But after you run it the first time, you can actually comment those out. Also need to open our badadvice.txt file. That's where we're going to be getting all of the learning data from. And we'll touch on that down the road. So now what we need to do is set up the tokenization. And with this, we're going to be essentially dissecting our bad advice text file. And we also need to pre-process our data. And this is where the lemmatizer is going to come in. We're also going to remove all the punctuation and make sure that everything is lowercase. Now let's set up some generic greeting inputs and outputs. So this is what we would expect the user to say to greet the bad robot. We're just going to copy and paste them because, you know, your response is going to be pretty similar. So let's define a greeting function. So we're going to wait for the user input, and if it is a greeting, we're going to reply with a greeting. It's just going to be a random greeting. Now we need to give some bad advice. And this is the function that we're going to use to take the user input and to find the most appropriate bad advice to give. And again, we'll write that bad advice in a little bit. So this is using that NLTK library to best find the best fit. And if for whatever reason there is no response that fits, the bad robot will just say it's sorry and that has no idea what you're talking about. All right, now let's add the logic for when the user actually starts communicating with the bot. So we're gonna get input from the user, and as long as it's not a greeting or a farewell, a bye, we're going to actually search for a response. And then if the user says bye or thank you, we're going to end the session and send a generic response. All right, now let's get started on the bad advice text file. So I'm writing a bunch of really bad pieces of advice here. There's no such thing as a bad idea or too many lobsters. Going to a party is a great idea during these times. I don't want to bore you, so I'm just going to copy and paste some that I have in a different file sitting around on my computer. Couldn't really find any libraries with bad advice. All right, it looks ready. Let's give it a try. Let's run the file. I think adopting a hippo is a bad idea. Don't study, go to a party instead. Yes, cockroaches. It's a great idea. Well, this has been your bad advice bot. All of the code is in a GitHub repository in the description, and be sure to like and subscribe.